Okay, so in this video now, I want to share with you the second part of the Hara Conditioning Exercises. So this is a name I've made. It's for a work which is mixing fairly common Chinese Tai Chi practices with some of the aliveness of Japanese work I've learned with Akinobu Kishi and Seiki. So if you can stand up. As with the first exercises, it's nice to start just circling with your hips. So in the original Chinese way of doing this, which is also great, I really like it, and I've done it a lot for years and years. The Chinese way just follows a form, and that's good. These joint exercises are working and opening the body, but we can also do this in a more fluid and flexible, playful way. Okay, so just beginning with the hip movement, same as the abdominal exercises. Go both directions. Okay, so now let's shift to the hands. So you interlock your fingers, and maybe the beginning is quite small. So one day you might feel like you want to be big, so everything is big movement. Another day you might be small, so be honest. Be where your body's at. And so I can start to focus now. It's like there's a diamond between my hands, and that diamond or crystal ball is spinning. And it might be that it's quite tight at the beginning, so the elbows are almost together. Most of the movements are happening in the wrists, and so this might be some kind of beginning, and that might feel, the posture might not be all upright and beautiful. It might feel, oh, I want to be curled up. My center doesn't feel strong, so be real with what's there. And so there's a focus on this movement in the wrist, and it might be like kind of say this crystal diamond spinning, whatever it is, and that's all you want for a bit. We could stand, we could also move around a bit. So in the Chinese exercise I usually stand, but with this I'm happy to just move around as well and see what shapes the body wants to make in a more ad hoc way. Okay, so my feeling's changing now, and I'm feeling like I want more space, and so my elbows are coming further apart. See, it's more playful. You follow your feeling. I want to be more open now. The body's touching the shoulders. Maybe I'll stand still with this. It's touching the shoulders, coming down to the hips, maybe even travels down a little bit to your feet. So when this is really there, the whole body can move. We can go the other direction, so that's also possible. Just feel yourself when it wants to change. So this can be anything. It could be, you might want to be lower down, and now I've gone small again, so I feel like and it's going quicker. Or I could come upwards and explore above my head, and then I'm feeling the movement more in the sides of the body. So just a simple exercise of the fingers interlocked can become the focus for a whole body exploration, and you just adjust spontaneously. So I kind of get spontaneity where it's completely just unexpected from the body and you don't know what's coming. But there's also for me a spontaneity which is like a sensitivity. So you might be in some kind of practice that you're doing and then you feel, no, what I want now is to be more wide and more slow, and so that could come. But it just depends what's coming up as a body feeling. So this is a kind of aliveness. So this is the first one with the hands. Second one is the shoulders. So shoulders, arms, hands, some kind of circling of the arms. And again, we can move if we want. We can play with different postures, with kind of front stance or back stance, or different shapes, and just exploring the circling of the arms, of the elbows, of the wrists. You might find different shapes. So now I'm emphasizing a little bit more in the shoulders. It's a bit more curled in. So there's lots of things that you can do with this, and could be with the wrists circling more different directions. It might be that you're fairly tired and so you're moving in a kind of a small way, sort of gentle, slow circles. What's nice is where you almost forget that you're making the movement. So it's like it becomes its own vortex. The air's moving in a circle, you let go, it's taking you with it. So it just drops. So that can be really, really nice to do, to find these vortexes where the energy is moving and you just drop and allow it to move, and then that can really energize the body. This isn't a physical exercise. You're creating these energy circles and spirals, and they build up in the joints, and so you can be feeling into your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, even your fingers. It could go very dynamic. We're almost kind of spinning, then it becomes almost like a full Katsugan exercise, spontaneous movement practice. I don't have it at the moment, so I'm just showing, but it could be that you're really working hard with the arms out and spinning, changing direction, finding different shapes that are there. So this is for you to enjoy and play, move around as you want to, or stand still. Okay, so that's the arms down to the shoulders down to the fingers. Next one is to lock the shoulders. So we just touch lightly on the pec muscles and then circle. So this is shoulders, but also the kind of the neck area. And again, we can circle forwards. You can do it in different ways. Might be more slow and gentle, might be quite rigorous, and go backwards. Your fingers might adjust a little bit, so we can change the center a little bit. Okay, nice. This next one is working on the chest, breathing. So you kind of start off open perhaps, and then bring the hands in, and then you're curling the fingers, kind of a comfortable tightness, and then bringing something into your center, into your chest area. So I'm curving the spine a little bit. Everything is curving inwards, and then it opens, life begins. And so we're breathing in perhaps, opening up fully, and you just feel your own timing. You can do this with the breath kind of timed, but I prefer to do just a freestyle and feel as I want, and then coming back in. So naturally I feel like breathing a bit now, but I'll allow myself to breathe in and out while I'm open, and then close. So you get this curving of the spine. You're kind of eating your hand, bringing it into the chest, opening. So there's this kind of deeper versions of this where it becomes a kind of Neigong, internal energy work, where you're pulling up your perineum as well, kind of contracting a space inside. So it can go more formal like that, or it can stay fairly light. So if I do the formal way, then I'm pulling my bottom in, pulling up the perineum, closing, opening. Yeah, and then there's almost an awareness of the knees as well. So the knees are coming in, there's like multiple points which are bringing everything into the center and then opening. So we can do it in this kind of more rigorous way, or we can just do it in a relaxed way. So in the main Tai Chi exercises, it's lighter. So we're just bringing into the center and opening. And you can do it also in a really light way. So we're just being almost physical dynamic, just opening and closing. I'm not focusing on the internal part in the same way now. It's just opening and closing of the chest area. You can stand still, or you can move around a bit. Okay, so this is also nice, and I kind of like to view it as the universe is ending, everything's smaller, and then it's opening, bigger, life is born. Okay, so that's the kind of lung exercise. At any time, if you feel that was quite strong, it was strong on me then you just come back to the circling to let the body relax. So if it feels you're just doing a little bit, you can flow through the body, a nice sequence. If it feels quite strong, then you want to rebalance. So I'm just using, this is like the integration part to relax, a bit of hip circling. Okay, so we can continue the sequence. Now it switches to the spine. So we can kind of bounce 1 and 2, 1 and 2. It's similar to practice I do in the abdominal exercises, but I'm not focused just on the lower back now. So I'm more open in this, 1 and 2. You keep it gentle, so we're not forcing things. The second bounce can go a bit deeper. 2, 1. Okay, so it's first part. Second part is kind of just swinging around. I'm touching my kind of the bottom, bit of my ribs. I'm looking behind about a meter. And you could drop there, so you just sort of stop for a second and kind of feel into the position. Maybe the head can be upright more. And then coming around to the other side. So we're feeling the whole movement range. So we could do this as a kind of meditation, and then slowly it becomes dynamic. And it's almost like your body becomes a drum. The Tibetans have these prayer wheels, which have two kind of hammers on strings, and they, as you spin the drum, the wheel, then the hammers hit the drum, and we can do this. So really nice to do. I'm not, many people like to move their foot and bring it up. You could do that if you like, but I don't, because I want to have my connection with the ground. I want to have a strong energy coming in, and I'm letting the movement come from the waist. So it can make your turn bigger if you move your feet, but I value keeping my rooting. Okay, so again, this is a practice that you can do lots of, and it becomes its own kind of meditation. So you know you're there when your body is doing something and it feels, wow, I can do this for the rest of my life. I don't want anything else. I don't want to go into some kind of fancy Tai Chi sequence or different things. I'm just happy to kind of spin like a meditation drum. So something is satisfying and it's enough. And it's quietly nourishing everything inside. But we're going to stop now. Now come back to the waist and the hips. So like at the beginning, just circling. Maybe the first one is where we're just touching around the hips. So there was a sort of a spontaneous version in my abdominal version of this practices. Here I just want to focus on the hips. So that's first, changing direction. And it's almost like you're drawing a circle on the ground. So you can imagine that you're drawing this circle. Okay, so now we could change the focus place. So maybe a hand in front, hand behind on the sacrum. And now you move and it's making a small internal circle. And you can perhaps feel the tilting of the sacrum. So it's a bit like a kind of internal sexy dance, almost like a belly dancing thing or something, but it's part of the core Tai Chi training to get this mobility in the pelvis, this build up this energy center. So keep your feet flat on the ground and really feel into this small circling tilting movement. Change direction. Okay, there's another one where you just put both hands behind on the lower back kidney area, and again we're doing a bigger circle. So you can play a little bit with these points to feel different aspects of the movement around the pelvis. And you could go into the spontaneous way, you're just feeling different points like we did in my abdominal version. Okay, so there's the waist. Next is to come to the knees. Just lightly touch on the knees and then circle both legs. So I'm not pushing down on my legs, on my knees. And the focus isn't the movement of the knees. You're still focused really on the buttocks, on the hips. But there's now this sense of the hips, the knees, the feet, the ankles. So your knees stay relaxed and soft. Just moving in circles. And come inwards. Okay, feet together. So this first one you can do first on a horizontal level. So your knees are together. And again, your focus is, quite a lot of it is in your buttocks, in your pelvis, in your hips, as well as your ankles and knees. Change direction. And you just do as much as is comfortable. So for some people it can be very hard work, other people it can be easy. So you build up. There's another version where you're kind of going more deep. So it's a bit like a kind of a corkscrew doing on the right, where I'm kind of descending down and coming up. So just a little bit of that. Okay, and then kind of doing a skiing type position, so I'm just bending and feeling the stretch on the buttocks. Slowly coming up. You turn your right foot about 45 degrees. Stand with a cat stance, so on the pad of the left foot to balance. Hands on the hips. And then we can circle the hip, knee, ankle, toes. So circle in one direction. The other direction. Just do a little bit now. So again, any of these, when you do by yourself and you feel, oh, my body wants this one, then you can do loads, as much as you have time for. Okay, we can change leg. So going one way. So for this first part, I'm focused, I'm locking the hips, pretty much, and I'm focused on the hip, knee, ankle, toes, change direction. Okay, and then there's a second version, you take your hands away. And so we're allowing movement through, both legs are moving, so the main leg is moving in a bigger circle, but the other leg is moving as well, so I call this the Elvis Presley. So you get a chance to practice the movements. Okay, and we can choose the other leg, and you can do both directions. So you're really feeling your center moving now, so this is a deeper practice, and maybe the other way. Okay, and then to finish, place your foot, hip, knee, ankle. So we're doing a kind of a light kick. I call it the Tai Chi Can. So place your weight, root, coming up, hip, knee, throwing the foot forwards. And again, you can find the rhythm, but find your balance first. And then you can bring the hands as well. So they're kind of being thrown forwards. I'm alternating, so left side, left, right hand. The right side, right hand is lower. Left side, left hand is lower. So there's a change happening in the hands. Okay, so we get the can. This is usually enough as a sequence, so I would finish there. Options, you can also play with stronger practices, which is moving the hip. So I'm using my center to move the hip around. So for some people this is too much, so we don't always encourage it, but if you want to, you can explore in this way. Yeah, so in the main sequence, when I'm doing it with people with all different health, I don't do this. Okay, so you've got the hips. You can also balance and do the knees, lower legs. So it's just an option. Let's come back. Okay, so whether you did that or not, we just come to a finish now. So bringing both hands up and down, up, down, up, and then coming into the center. Okay, you very much.